book up wide and meet adventures that wait for you. Live and learn and laugh and play whenever your dream comes true. You could swim along the river all the way to the sea. You could fly up in the sky above the clouds and trees. You could plant a flower garden up on top of the moon. You could swing through the jungle all afternoon. Wherever our story takes us, I can't wait to see. Yes, friends, come and read with me. It's online story time.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Online Storytime at your Grand Rapids Area Library. I'm Miss Tracy.
And I'm Teacher Missy.
And we are delighted to have you here with us. Hey everybody, before we start talking about this really fun thing that we're going to talk about soon when we start talking, can we sing a song?
We can.
Okay, good. Everybody get your clappers ready, whatever you're going to clap today, your hands or your knees or the table, whatever you're going to clap. Here we go. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, clap your hands. I am so excited to hear some stories today. Hey, what do you want to talk about?
Well, you know, this is a kind of an interesting thing to talk about, especially for young children, but this time of year, we're going to start to see these growing in wooded areas.
Oh my.
Something growing, and it's something that people like to eat. It grows from the ground, and if we look at this picture, some of you may or may not know what this is. This is a mushroom.
My goodness, it doesn't look like a mushroom I'm used to seeing.
It isn't one that I'm used to seeing either. And I know that there are many kinds of mushrooms, and that is not something we should just pick, is it?
No, that's true. Before we start to talk about mushrooms, Storytime friends, I want to give you a really important piece of safety news. Many mushrooms that you come across, especially the ones that just grow in your yard, they could make you very sick if you ate them.
Yeah, they could.
There are poisonous mushrooms that make you sick, and there are delicious, wonderful, fabulous mushrooms that you can eat. And that's not a decision for a child to make.
No, you have to know exactly what kind of mushroom you're picking. And my husband and I have become mushroomers, and we are very cautious about what kind we pick. And there are a lot of details involved in how they look, because some of them look a little bit alike.
Yeah, so Storytime friends, before we get into this really fun mushroom topic, just remember, you are not to eat any mushrooms until a grown-up tells you it's okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Got it.
But, oh my heavens, they're really delicious.
They are. Well, the ones you can eat are very good. And when I was this age, your age, guys, I didn't love mushrooms, but as an adult, I do.
Mm-hmm. I really like mushrooms too. I'm one of the only members of my family who does really love mushrooms, but I do. They're delicious. Mushrooms, why are we talking about mushrooms today, Teacher Missy?
Well,
do you know?
Because there's something that grows in the Minnesota woods.
That's right. And guess what? We are still talking about Minnesota symbols. And Minnesota was the very first state to have its own state mushroom. Isn't that crazy?
I did not know that.
And that's what this mushroom is, and it's called the Morel mushroom. And a lot of people look for Morel mushrooms because they're so delicious to eat.
And these guys are a little hard to find.
Yes, they are.
They're kind of the top of the mushroom chain, and they're a little bit hard to find.
And when you find them, nobody will tell you where they found them.
No, they won't.
Mm-hmm.
One of my very closest friends won't share any of her spots.
Oh, so anyway, do you have any good books we can talk about?
You know what? I do.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to some
do.
mushroom stories.
Miss Tracy, look, I have a beautiful book for us to read this morning.
Oh my goodness, I love this book.
This is a beautiful book. This is a book written about the Ojibwe people going through the seasons
Wow.
and talking about how they know what season it is.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear this. It looks to me on the cover like it's written in 2 different languages.
It is. The top part of each page has it written in the Ojibwe language, and the bottom of each page is written in English. So I will be reading the English piece to you. Many of these words are a little hard for me to pronounce, and I don't want to make them sound wrong, or not be able to do them justice. This book is written by Brittany Luby, and it was illustrated, which, remember what that is? Right, the person that does the pictures, by Joshua Mengishig Paes Steckley. That's a lot of name, isn't it? Yes, it is. And if you notice on the cover of my book, there is a child walking, and I don't know if this might be a grandmother. And why do you think I might think that? It looks to me like this woman has gray hair.
Okay.
And if not, could it be a mother or an aunt? It could. Well, let's find out about this book, and it's called This Is How I Know. A book about the seasons. Okay, this is going to be a sticky one. How do I know that summer is here? I wonder what these are. Do you have any idea? It's a fruit. We've talked about them. That's a blueberry. When Loon opens her red eyes to call across the water, and the green Luna moth hides among the birch leaves. Here's a green Luna moth. You may have seen those. And in the summertime we do, and we know that we have loons here. When yellow bumblebee collects purple fireweed with me, and we spy brown screech owl asleep in the tree. And this is a kind of flower that's growing wild, and there's a bumblebee doing its work. When blueberries drop readily and the sand is hot enough to sting. Does the sand get very hot in the summer? It does. Sometimes it's too hot to walk on. When insects billow black from the trees and the sun slips into an orange dream, look at that beautiful sunset. This is how I know it is summer. How do I know that fall is here? When brown cattails swell and bend and red-winged blackbirds take his leave, that means he's going to fly away. I wonder where he's going. Maybe to a warmer place for the winter? That's what I think he's doing. When mallard feasts on yellow corn and black bears lick the ant pile clean. Did you know that bears eat ants? And lots of them. Yeah, they do. Do you eat ants? No. When orange mushrooms emerge one by one and we collect them from the forest green. And here you can see that she is picking mushrooms from the forest floor. And she is with an adult. So they are making sure that their mushrooms are safe. When white clouds form in fewer numbers and the sky seems bluer than it was before. This is how I know it is fall. How do I know winter is here? How do you know when winter comes? What things do you see when it's winter time? I think it was a week ago. When I wait for the sun's bright light and I watch brown deer strip the cedar trees. Look at, they're eating the pine trees right in the front yard. When I whistle to blue jay, to wheedle, and lay seeds for the red-capped woodpecker. Look at, they've got a bird feeder right there. When orange fox begs at my door and gray mouse sneaks in for warmth, here he is. He came in probably, do you think when the door was open? Oh, I don't know. When the white moon sits highest in the sky and green light dances through the night. This is how I know it is winter. When black ice, whoops, I missed a page here, sorry guys. So now, how do I know when spring is here? There are signs of spring. When the black ice softens and green shoots peek through the white snow. That's kind of starting now, isn't it? Although most of our lakes, I think, are finally open, but the ice turns black first before it melts away. When the yellow-billed seagull comes home to roost and keeps her spotted eggs warm in the nest. And there they are, sitting on their eggs, waiting for babies to hatch. When red-breasted robins lay their blue eggs and pink-bellied puppies tumble. Look at them. It looks like their dog had puppies. This is how I know spring. And you know what this is? It's a frog. And I bet he's making some springtime noises. And here they are looking out at the lake. It looks very peaceful there. Those are our seasons. There are 4.
Hey, Storytime friends. Hey, Teacher Missy.
Yes, Miss Tracy.
Do you want to play a really fun flannel?
That looks like an amazing flannel. Look at all those things.
There's a lot going on this flannel board, friends. If you notice up in the corner, what are those? What are those way up there? Yep, they're mushrooms. But they're mushrooms with doors in them. Isn't that crazy? I promise you, if you go searching for Morel mushrooms with somebody, you won't find any mushrooms with doors in them. But there's a lot of folk tales that say that these little folk called gnomes, they live in mushroom houses. So we are going to do a song about these gnomes trying to get home to their mushroom house. All right? So, to start out, how many gnomes do we have? Can you count them with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And thankfully, the title of this song is 5 Small and Cheerful Gnomes. We have 5 gnomes. We can sing a song about them. Are you ready? Here we go. Start with 5. 5 small and cheerful gnomes, far from their mushroom homes. Look at up there. Look at how far away they are from their mushroom homes. There's a lot between them and their house. Looking for a delightful time, hooray! One saw a field of flowers. Oh! Frolicked in it for hours. Now there are 4 small cheerful gnomes. Hooray. All right. Uh-oh, we've lost a gnome. Uh-oh. She's frolicking in her field of flowers. Here we go. 4 small and cheerful gnomes, far from their mushroom homes, looking for a delightful time. Hooray! A pond lay just off their path, one stop to take a bath. Now there are 3 small cheerful gnomes. Hooray! Uh-oh. Do you think anyone's gonna get home today?
I don't know.
It's a lot of distraction here. Okay, how many do we have left? You're right. 1, 2, 3. 3 small and cheerful gnomes, far from their mushroom homes, looking for a delightful time. Hooray! One met 2 rabbits by chance. They said, come join our dance. Now there are 2 small cheerful gnomes. Hooray! Oh, they're having such a good time. Okay, we only got 2 left. I hope somebody gets home. Here we go. 2 small and cheerful gnomes, far from their mushroom homes, looking for a delightful time. Hooray! One found some berries sweet. She took a break to eat. Now there is 1 small cheerful gnome. Hooray! Oofda.
Wow.
Let's
Anybody
see.
gonna get home there?
I don't know. 1 small and cheerful gnome, far from his mushroom home, looking for a delightful time. Hooray! He met a swift orange fox. They raced down to some rocks. Now there are no small cheerful gnomes. No, no. Oh my goodness. They all seem to be doing other things now.
They are.
No small and cheerful gnomes, far from their mushroom homes. They all found delightful times. Hooray! We hope they come back one day so we can sing and play with the 5 small cheerful gnomes. Hooray!
I hope they find their way. That's crazy.
I hope they make it home, but in the meantime, they're all having a good time.
We're having a great time.
Thanks for playing.
Miss Tracy, I have another book about mushrooms.
Look at how many mushrooms are on that cover.
I know, look at them. There's a million of them and they're all different colors.
Oh my goodness.
I think they probably are different kinds of mushrooms, do you think? Well, this book is called Mushroom in the Rain. In the Rain. It was written by Mira Ginsburg and the pictures were done by Jose Agrego and Ariane Dewey. So lots of people, 3 people worked together on this book. That's a lot of people. And look at, I see some animals on this picture here. I see what do you think? Yeah, there's a rabbit. Oh, and a butterfly. You see the little butterfly? And look at the ant. I like ants. Oh, what's this? A mouse. And what? Yep, a bird. What color is the bird? A red bird. Okay. Well, this is called Mushrooms in the Rain. Let's find out about what mushrooms and rain have to do with each other. I just don't know what that could be. Well, one day an ant was caught in the rain. Oh, where can I hide? He wondered. Oh, look at the rain's coming down and he's getting rained on. He saw a tiny mushroom peeking out of the ground in a clearing and he went to hide under it. He sat there waiting for the rain to stop. But the rain came down harder and harder. A wet butterfly crawled up to the mushroom. Cousin Ant, let me come in from the rain. I am so wet, I cannot fly. Well, how can I let you in, said the ant. There's barely enough room for me. It does not matter, said the butterfly. Better crowded than wet. The ant moved over and made room for the butterfly. The rain came down harder and harder. Well, there they are, trying to get under that mushroom together. A mouse ran up. "Let me in under the mushroom. I am drenched to the bone." "Well, how can we let you in? There is no more room here." "Oh, just move a little closer." They huddled closer and they let Mouse in. And the rain came down and down, and it just would not stop. There they are, all snuggled up under the mushroom. A little brown sparrow hopped up to the mushroom crying, "My feathers are dripping. My wings are so tired. Let me in under the mushroom to dry out and rest until the rain stops." "But there is no room here." "Oh, please move over just a little bit." Well, they moved over and there was room enough for the sparrow.
How can that be, Teacher Missy?
Isn't that crazy? Because remember, it started as
It was just big enough for the ant.
just big enough for the ant, and now look, they've got all these friends in there. Then a rabbit hopped into the clearing, and he saw the mushroom. "Oh, hide me," he cried. "Save me, a fox! A fox is chasing me." "Oh, poor rabbit," said the ant. Let's crowd ourselves a little more and take him in." Well, now, Miss Tracy, they've got a rabbit in there. In a mushroom the size of an ant. As soon as they hid the rabbit, the fox came running.
Ooh.
Here he comes. "Have you seen the rabbit? Which way did he go?" he asked. "Oh, we have not seen him." The fox came near and he sniffed. "Oh, there is a rabbit smell around. Is he hiding here?" "You silly fox. How could a rabbit get in here? Don't you see? There isn't any room in here." The fox turned up his nose, flicked his tail, and ran off. They were able to trick him. By then, the rain was over. The sun looked out from behind the clouds, and everyone came out from under the mushroom, bright and merry. The ant looked at his neighbors. How could this be? At first, I hardly had enough room under that mushroom just for myself. And in the end, all 5 of us were able to sit under it. It's kind of a mystery. Somebody laughed loudly behind them. They turned and saw a fat green frog sitting on top of the mushroom, shaking his head at them. Said the frog, "Don't you know what happens to a mushroom in the rain?" And he hopped away, still laughing. Well, apparently they don't know. The ant, the butterfly, the mouse, the sparrow, and the rabbit looked at one another. Then they looked at the mushroom. And suddenly they knew why there was enough room under the mushroom for all of them. Do you know? Can you guess what happens to a mushroom in the rain? What do you think happens? Something happens to a mushroom in the rain. Well, look at this. What do we see here? Look at that, Miss Tracy. They look a little bit different, don't they? In the rain, a mushroom grows. It grew.
Wow.
Isn't that just so interesting? In the rain, it grows. So there was enough room for all of them, wasn't there? There was. That's what happens to a mushroom in the rain.
Hey, story time friends. You ready to do a little shaking, a little moving? Okay, so out of your, oh, excuse me? Of course. Hey, story time friends. Tiger would like to be our story time friend today. Hello, Teacher Missy.
Well, good morning, Tiger. Good to see you, buddy.
Hello, Storytime friends. I'm delighted to be here. Okay, so Tiger's gonna sit right there and watch us. So, out of your Storytime kit, my friends, I'd like you to find your shaker egg, okay? Although, for our first song, you may choose to use your shaker egg, or you may choose to do your body instead of the shaker egg. But you'll definitely want the shaker egg for the second song. So I want you to find your shaker egg, and remember, if you don't have your Storytime kit yet, we have some here for you at the library. Just come in and get it, and you keep it forever and ever. Yep, that's true. Hey, Teacher Missy, do you want to shake?
Well, I really like this one.
This one, Storytime friends, is just an envelope, a plain old envelope that we put some dried beans in, and then we just taped it closed. And
it makes a great shaking sound, doesn't it?
You can hear how those two sound different. It's kind of neat hearing them together. So cool. If everybody has different kinds of shakers, that'd be really neat to hear. So you make a shaker out of anything you want to make a shaker out of. You just need something to put something in, and you got yourself a shaker. Okay, here we go. Now the first one, though, is called A Great Big Tree. I'm going to use my shaker egg because I'm going to stay seated, but I want to show you the movements, okay? In this song, you are going to be a great big tree, and you're going to be a tiny little mushroom. And when you're a tiny little mushroom, you can go all the way down to the ground. And then you're going to be a great big tree, and then you're going to be a fern. Do you remember what a fern is? It's a green plant that grows in the summertime. And matter of fact, they will start shooting up here pretty soon. They start out all curled up like this, and they open like this, and they have wispy petals on them, wispy arms on them.
They're just one of my very favorite summer plants.
I love ferns. So after you're a great big tree and you're a tiny little mushroom, you can be a fern. And then again, you're going to be a tiny little mushroom and a great big tree. So you can shake along with me, or you can do the motions with your body. You can actually jump up to be a great big tree. All right, here we go. And this song is called Great Big Tree. Here we go. A great big tree, a great big tree, a tiny little mushroom and a great big tree. A fern, a tiny little mushroom and a great big tree. All right, should we do it again? Here we go. A great big tree, a great big tree, a tiny little mushroom and a great big tree. A fern, a tiny little mushroom and a great big tree. Isn't that fun? It's kind of like you're walking through the woods. You see all these cool things. You see a great big tree and a tiny little mushroom and ferns. Oh my goodness. All right, now, everybody can have a seat. You can grab your shaker egg, and we're going to sing a song about my grandpa, okay? And my grandpa loved to search for mushrooms and to fry them up in a pan. So my grandpa used to go foraging out in the woods for mushrooms, and then he would bring them up and he would fry them up with butter, and he thought it was the most delicious food in the world. I liked it too then, but I didn't like it as well when I was little as I love them now. So just know that if you don't love mushrooms now, you might love mushrooms later. So it's worth it. Every time somebody gives you a mushroom, just take a little bite. And if you don't care for it, that's okay. But one day, I think you're gonna love them. All right, here we go. It's called Mushrooms for Dinner. And it goes like this. Ready to shake? My grandpa loved his mushrooms. He ate them all the time. He loved to search the forest, and then he'd sing this rhyme. Mushrooms are delicious. I love to fry them up. Add a little butter, then get your plate and cup. We're having shrooms for dinner. I love to fill my plate with golden yummy bites of fungus. They are really great. Oh, delicious. Did you know that mushrooms are called a fungus? They are. All right, so you want to sing it again? Here we go. My grandpa loved his mushrooms. He ate them all the time. He loved to search the forest and then he'd sing this rhyme. Mushrooms are delicious. I love to fry them up. Add a little butter, then get your plate and cup. We're having shrooms for dinner. I love to fill my plate with golden yummy bites of fungus. They are really great. Yay! Story time, friends. Teacher Missy,
Yes,
you know
ma'am.
what? I'm a little bit hungry right now.
I know, I'm just like, I want a mushroom. Give it a little.
But what a fun thing that Minnesota has its own state mushroom.
That is pretty awesome.
And now other states now have their own state mushroom too, but we were the first. Minnesota was
Well,
the first one to
yeah.
have their own
Somebody's
state
got to blaze the trail.
mushroom. That's right. Oh, what great books we read. We learned all about the seasons and how important it is to this family that they know when the season starts because the mushrooms start to grow. Isn't
Absolutely,
that great?
yep.
And then, who knew? Do you guys remember what happens to mushrooms in the rain? They get bigger.
Isn't that just so cool?
That is such a neat fact to know about mushrooms. And I don't know if our gnomes are ever going to get home, but they are certainly having a good time. And speaking of having a good time, I think it's time for you guys to go have a different kind of a good time. So I think it's time to say goodbye.
I think it is.
All right, would you sing with us? Here we go. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Story time is done today. Now it's time to go and play. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Goodbye, everybody.
Get outside and play.